Hey y'all. Boy, it never gets old. It's just something about the old flag and sunset on this old place here in Nacogdoches. I had one before, but kind of got tired of not seeing one, so I put one up the other day. It sure looks good. Come on, Waylon, let's go walk. Come on, buddy. How are y'all this evening? Saturday's behind us, or almost, and barreling into another week, I guess. It's always fun reading the comments from people scattered all over. And y'all feel free to sound off. We'll see if we can't read through a few of them. Been working a little bit around the place today, having a little me time. We're still running hard on all the pool. A lot of graduations happening this weekend. People getting ready for that. But, we got the next layer of our potato tire going. I don't know why in the world I'm growing more potatoes. I've got plenty out there. Thought I'd do a little test dig on one plant. And I'm going to have some taters, y'all, I'm afraid. So let me show y'all real quick. This is off of one, right? I've got, I think, 200. So there you go. That's one plant. So they're definitely not rotting. And I was a little worried about that with all this rain. Sometimes they'll rot in the ground like that, but they are making like gangbusters out there. So I guess I'll know what I'll be having this evening or tomorrow, right? Some fresh new potatoes. There ain't nothing wrong with that at all, right? How was y'all's week? Good? I hope so. It's always a good thing. I had a couple of things on my mind tonight. One I didn't expect. One happened yesterday, but one I didn't expect. And lots of needs, lots of folks hurting all over the place and things. And it reminded me of something out of the Old Testament. But I was coming down what we call North Street here in town today. Had a couple more to do and had a little rumble in my belly. So I was going to stop in a little fast food place, get me something to tide me over till the evening. And I passed a little group of folks with some pop-up tents. Y'all have seen them before. Said fundraising. And kind of didn't register. I'm like, wait a minute, I can just go get something there. That's surely better than fast food, and at least it'll help somebody out. So stop and got a little chopped beef sandwich and, you know, the drill chip and the Coke and all. But I want to know what they were fundraising about. And they all realize there's lots of needs, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit because it kind of struck me. It's a little 4-year-old, native Texan. The parents are from Timpson, Texas, just up the road. Dad and Mama in their 20s live down in Silsbee area now, near Beaumont. And the grandparents were out there trying to raise a little funds to do things. Now, medically, he's got, man, she sent it to me, but it's a rare condition that he's had since birth. Has with detached esophagus and abdomen and things of that nature. And the prognosis is somewhat favorable, just some more surgeries to go through. But I think what really tore my heart out, medically, of course, they could use funds to help with that, but they've got insurance. His dad's got a job, and of course, it's just the life stuff that happens around a medical emergency like that. Anybody that's been through it knows that a lot of times the household stuff isn't covered, and you're too busy there at the hospital for an extended stay. But talking with the mother, the grandmother of Ryan, she is the mother of Ryan's mother. But they're young like me. The parents are in their 20s. Good Christian folks. They have a church home, which they said has been very supportive and helpful. But the mental trauma that they must be going through as young parents, this is their only child, and tragedies happen, I know, and people lose children, but it really struck me. So I thought I would ask, if nothing else, and they're not really looking for money. Of course, you know, if you're benevolent like that and won't do that, that's fine. But just ask that you kind of keep that young family in your prayers for strength of mind. Because their life has been upended. I think he had a couple of years of decent health, but it's kind of faded here lately. But prognosis is good. But if you got a little extra room in the prayer closet this evening, you might say a prayer for little Ryan and his parents, Brandon and Hannah as they navigate this through, and hopefully this will deepen their faith and draw them closer together and to God, and keep rolling along. They've got a little Facebook page. Again, they're not really trying to raise money necessarily at all, but if you want to keep up with this progress, I'll share that in the caption after this video. Sweet little kid, cute as a button. It said he's a trooper. I think he likes dinosaurs. That's kind of what the page is themed. But I'll share that in the comments later for y'all to click on and connect with that little page. It's nothing huge. They're just trying to stay positive and keep friends and family updated about little Ryan as he battles for his health. But poor little guy's had to wear a colostomy bag, and I can't imagine having to do that, but you got to do what you got to do. But at that age, it's just a burden on him, I'm sure. But so keep those folks in your prayers. And I liken it to, I was talking to a really dear friend of mine the other day. Do a little work for them along the way, and the business relationship has transcended into more of a sisterhood, or she's like my sister. I'm not going to call her my mama, but that's funny. I tend to do that. I guess that's just how my heart's designed. I like to care for people and work. And anyway, I was telling her about. Reminds me of this. We can be that little man's Aaron and Hur. Some of you that come up in a Bible-based home and done some studying and things may remember the story. Some of you that don't, this might be kind of an eye-opener for you. But in the book of Exodus, when a lot of the wars were going on between Joshua and Moses and that whole clan, the Israelites, trying to make their way and battling different enemies, one of their biggest foes was the Amalekites. And there's a story told. Joshua was a young leader and kind of the warrior over the tribe. Moses had aged. He had done his job bringing them out of the promised land, but they still had battles to fight. And the Lord commanded Joshua to go into battle with these Amalekites to wipe them out. And as long as Moses held up his hands, Joshua would prevail. Well, the battle raged for hours and even all day. Moses, being an old man, I can't it's tough enough on this phone to hold my hand up for 5 minutes. But his arms would get weary. And they finally sat him on a rock. And his brother Aaron on one side and his close companion Hur on the other side would hold up his arms so that they would prevail in the battle. That struck me. Sometimes in our life, we've got some Moseses around us. Maybe they're going through a battle, whether it be personal or business, or in the case of little Ryan, a health issue, and the parents. They're the Moses in that situation, but we can be that Aaron and that Hur that lift their arms up, help to give them strength through prayer, good thoughts, and contact. I think that's important that we do that. Send these little grasshoppers reminding me. I look for the simple things in life, and I try to get quiet a lot. And I find when you do, when I get harried and busy, I miss a lot. And I've got years of that. So now it's even louder, the silence is, when I see it. I was cleaning a pool out near Mount Enterprise this week, and had a little detached spa that connects to the pool, scooping out the few little critters that might be in it, or the leaves or whatever. And I was up the spa and I was brushing it, and there was a grasshopper that had just landed in that spa, about a 6-inch ledge on it. He was just kind of floating there. He was totally out of place. That was not his element, not where he belonged. He would surely drowned. Well, I didn't have the net on the pole, so save a few steps. I took the brush and gently put it under his legs there where he could get on it. Well, he clung on to safety just long enough for me to lift it out of the water, but not clear the edge. As soon as I lifted it an inch, he hopped back in the water, stayed in that same environment that he was going to perish in. Well, this happened about 2 or 3 times before I was quick enough to raise him to a level to throw him out of the spa and back in his environment, the grass there next to the pool, so that he would live. How often is that us, y'all? I know I've done that in my youthful days and craziness. You get into an environment or a situation that's not good for you. You're probably not going to survive it, whether it be a lifestyle or just an event or something. It's not good. You get in a jam, right? Trying to get out. And you pray or you reach out to somebody to help you get out of it, and they get you just out the door, but you're not over it yet. You jump right back in it in another way. But if you'll hang on to that safety net, for me, it's my Lord and Savior. But if you'll hang on a minute and let him lift you a little higher, don't jump off right when he starts lifting you. Don't jump right back into the mess. Just hang with him. Develop that relationship and let him lift you completely out of that environment and put you back where you belong, in that tall grass where you're meant to be. I thought that was pretty cool. I get pretty deep on those so that's what I think about during the day when I'm working. I don't know about y'all, but ain't nothing wrong with that, is it? I heard a guy talking about, well, what did he say? He said, and this kind of impacted me. Maybe y'all will like it or can relate to it. But he posed the question, why did God create us? I guess a lot of us will pipe off. I might have if I hadn't thought about it. Would say that, well, he created us to serve him. The more I thought about it, more this guy, it's kind of ridiculous, you know. He don't need us to serve him. I mean, he appreciates it if we do. But if he wanted somebody to serve him and do his bidding, he's got the angels. And they'd sure listen to him and obey him a lot better than we do. I think what he wants us to do is love him, right? Just as much as he loves us. Because God is love. I'm not even going to get into the things that happen bad around us, but he is love, and he creates us to love him. But we got to do it on our own free will, or it's not love, right? Otherwise, you're just a robot. That's our element. That's why so many times we go through life and we're despondent. We don't know what's wrong with us. We just feel out of place. It's because we're out of our element, you know? A bird's place is in the sky, in the trees. Fish swim in the ocean. But our eternal soul was created to have a relationship with Jesus Christ and our God. And when we don't have that, we're like a bird trying to navigate in the ocean, or a fish trying to fly through the air, or even a little grasshopper in a spa in Mount Enterprise, Texas. So I think we do well to embrace that and learn to develop that relationship with him. Speaking of work, had a daddy-daughter day, fella did, at his office. And his daughter was so excited to go work with Dad for the day. The day was going okay, and about noon, the little girl was just crying. There's an open office, a lot of folks around doing clerical work. And, I mean, she was just bawling. Well, nobody could figure out why. And her dad come up and said, "Baby, why are you so sad? Why are you crying?" And with everybody listening, and her little voice carried across that office space, she said, "Dad, where are all the clowns that you said you worked with?" She thought she was going to go see clowns. I guess Dad had a bad day after take your daughter to work day on that one, didn't he? Ain't that something? Thought I lost my 2 little baby goats earlier. Head count was off when I was feeding. And, the 2 that I bottle fed, they're back in the main herd now, doing fine. And that's them hollering there. They're the only ones that talk to me. But they can kind of slip out that hog wire over there and go roaming around. It's not a big deal. But I was out here feeding, and I didn't see them, and they weren't hollering. Well, I didn't think nothing of it. Went on in the house, come back out, and it kind of hit me in the gut for a few minutes. I'm like, man, if those little babies got out of the pen and got hit or got picked up or got carried off or whatever, and I come around that corner, and I'm going to do an extensive search now, right? Well, if I'd used my sense earlier, I wouldn't even had to worry about it. As soon as I said, hey, babies, they went to hollering, and here they come. So I don't know how I missed them at head count, but they're fine. Old Tank is still with us. I need to reach out to that old boy and see if he's ready for his buddy to come back home. He lays out here in the chicken house and is doing fine. Waylon, everybody's good here on the place. But yeah, y'all consider, I thought it might even be cool on little Ryan if y'all had time, maybe send him a little card and be the light that way, him or his parents. There's not a GoFundMe, there's not a fundraising thing, there's none of that. I'm just going to simply put the page in the comments, and you can go over there and kind of peruse. I think they update every day, got some pictures of this cute little dude on there, and maybe just be a light in their world with an encouraging word for mom and daddy, you know, and maybe we can be a little bit of their Aaron and her and hold their hands up as they go through this trial. And I would ask that we all remember all those suffering. God knows the needs, and you could say a corporate prayer, and he hears it for sure. Well, let me check off, see who all's on here real quick, and then I got to make a run up to town. Need a few supplies on some things. Waylon, what are you doing? What are you got fuzz in your mouth, son? Goodness gracious. Well, he's always doing something, but he's a good little dude. Our little hay bale garden's going good over there. Let me go through this real quick. It's getting a little dim out here. Let me put on my spectacles, y'all. Bear with me a second. That looked better than I did. I might just leave that on there, huh? Good old pecan tree. All right, who we got on here this evening? There's Miss Carolyn checking in. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see who else is on here. Y'all sound off, and yep, I love doing that. Somebody said fundraising. You're going to go give $10, $15 to a burger joint, and that's good. You'll do that all day, but I love pulling in those little tented barbecue pits with a group of kids out there and family and whatever they're fundraising for. It's always neat to have a little conversation with that. So I hope they did well. Let's see. Who else we got on here? Lots of folks watching. Nobody comments. All right. Little Ryan. Okay. There's my buddy Phelps. Hadn't seen you in here in a while, sir. Good to see you. Evening back to you. Thanks for checking in. Let's see here. We got Carol saying, first time seeing your post. Appreciate your post. I'd like to follow you, but I don't know how. Well, after this is over with, you should be able to click the page name, Washboard Chronicles, and click follow or like there at the top. And we cherish every bit of that. All the clowns. That's right. From the mouths of babes, right? There's Henry David Fox, uplifting talks and seeing the farm reminds me of my childhood. Well, thank you. Openly wave from Maria. She's normally at work, y'all, but she's on vacation, so she can watch without penalty this evening. Anyway, if y'all in the Nacogdoches area and need taters, we got them. I can't believe these really aren't ready to pick. I mean, they're done. Well, they'll eat. But one more time, I'm just blessed. That's off of one plant against 200. No, I think I got 300 out there, actually. There's a row of 180 that I planted, and about 3 weeks later, I'm glad I stalled them now. It's another 150 or so. So by my math, that's over 300, ain't it? Close, right? Well, that sun's done sank behind the silos. Waylon, you ready to go in and get something to eat? Are you, baby? Yeah, okay. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light. And think about reaching out to that little page. And that might, they don't expect it. And that might be just the thing they need to keep winning the battle, right? Uplift those Moseses around you. It's a good thing. Y'all be the light. Have a good night.